I didn't know who Tom Oden was. I just had heard from one of my colleagues at Concordia Seminary that I should go up and see this guy because he's got kind of a neat idea for a new research project. So it was quite an interesting encounter, and that started a friendship that lasted 20 years. It was just amazing.
More than 20 years ago, I was in my room writing. Someone knocked at the door. He came in, okay? He said, please sit. He said, I am Thomas Oden. I have a project now to do. He presented himself. A project about the use of the Bible by the father of the church. We started to talk, and I saw this, for me, was a humble man, just asking someone to help him. Immediately, I understood his openness to be in service of all churches. I told him, anything I can do for you, I'll be happy to do.
The first time I met Tom, it was, I walked over to where his office was. I opened the door, knocked, I heard a voice at the end of a hallway, and walked down the hallway, wondering what was this man going to be like? Was he going to be gruff, gentle? Who am I going to be dealing with for any number of years? I walked around the corner, and Tom was behind his desk. And he looked up, and he said, Chris, how you doing? How you doing? And for 31 years, I think every time I saw him, that was the first greeting out of his mouth. Chris, how you doing?
Professor Thomas Oden was a great friend, a very inspiring man, and a man of deep thinking.
Early on, right after we met him, we did these salons. And we had Tom come to do a salon, and he started by playing, we had a piano, and he started by playing honky-tonk piano, and then moved into old gospel song piano, and then he went and laid down on the floor and started talking to these kids. It was just a lot. Here we've got this scholar, right, who's playing the honky-tonk piano, and then he lays down on the floor. It was hysterical, and they all thought, okay.
Tom Oden was a serious scholar, and he lived in books and in the world of books and ideas and so forth and so on. But there was also a light side to Tom.
There is one time that I remember with Tom. It was, we were heading out with the Amundsen's to go to Egypt. And we did get on the flight in Egypt Air. And I remember, before we took off, we heard the call to prayer. And Tom turned to me and he said, looks like we're not getting any booze on this flight. And I thought, no, this is somebody I like to travel with. Not just because I'm Lutheran, but because he had that kind of sense of humor and that kind of sense of adventure.
I could see the human side of Tom Oden, a man who is very humble. He has a very strong faith in God.
Tom had a very disciplined spiritual life. Oftentimes, I think each day would begin with 20, 25 minutes, maybe 30 minutes of prayer, oftentimes when the weather was warm enough out on the porch there.
The Energizer Bunny, Tom Oden. Yes. The Odenator.
We'd oftentimes pray together. And as we prayed together, we would remind each other of the things that we both held so close to our hearts regarding the wonder and glory of the Holy Trinity, Jesus, Holy Spirit, and so on. He was a man of tremendous courage and one of the liveliest minds I've ever encountered.
He was a unique figure in late 20th century evangelicalism. And he could speak against stuff that theologians, evangelical theologians, were maybe not buying into completely, but were kind of filtering into things. to water down the essence of the gospel of Jesus Christ. And not on Tom Oden's watch, because he knew what that was and where it led.
He's a man who was humble enough to accept the challenge of one of his colleagues who encouraged him to study the early fathers and make his ancient Bible commentary, which was very, very useful to many people today.